Hi, and welcome to Ottawa English. I'm Angela.
And today we're looking at how to get a high CELPIP score even if you don't have a great vocabulary. Many of my students worry about finding the right word when they're under exam pressure. So today we'll focus on finding different ways to say the same thing and compensating for any vocabulary inadequacies by maximizing the score in other areas. CELPIP examiners use this rubric to score each of the speaking tasks, and clearly, vocabulary really isn't the only thing they're looking at. It's just one of four categories. So, even within the vocabulary category, there are several factors that make up your vocabulary score. Obviously, there's word choice. This one here, suitable use of words and phrases. And that means that you can find a workaround, an alternative way to say something when you can't think of the exact word. And then we have the range of words and phrases. And that just means that you don't use the same word over and over again. And then we have precision and accuracy, which means that you use your language efficiency tools. Let's take a look at a response to this prompt where we offer a friend some advice about where to take his family for dinner. I've chosen two restaurants. One is a Chinese buffet and the other is a family diner. And this is the response I've prepared. Stop the video for a moment and read my response to CELPIP Speaking Task 1. Okay, so skeptical may be a difficult word, but I could have said unsure or uncomfortable. Instead of utensils, I could have said spoons. And instead of destinations, I could just say places. With any of those alternatives, I would still get my full score for my word choice. So your words don't have to be fancy to get your score. I get my score for a range of suitable words and phrases from this nice clean description of the food that's hot, fast and tasty, and then from these common phrases. For precision and accuracy, I pick up a lot of points for these participle adjectives because they let me express myself with very few words. Shared serving utensils is a much more efficient way of saying utensils that everybody puts their hands on to serve themselves. And no fuss meals uses a lot fewer words than meals that aren't elaborate. These referents and these possessives and these parallels also go a long way to giving me a good precision and accuracy score. So I've used my language efficiency tools in my vocabulary score. Okay, so as you can see, there's a lot more to getting your vocabulary score than just knowing specific words and phrases. So now let's take a look at how we can pick up points in the other sections. For content and coherence, I've got two ideas, a buffet and a diner. That's plenty. They're good quality ideas because they're relevant to the question and there's so much that I can say about them. I've organized my ideas into two nice paragraphs and I've provided details to support why I think my friend's family would like them. For your listenability score, I pronounce every word very clearly. My accent isn't a problem as long as the examiner can hear the word endings that identify whether I'm speaking about the past, the present or the future. For a full score here, I mustn't correct myself more than maybe once, certainly no more than I would in any other language. And I mustn't pause too often. I want to appear to be very confident about my ability to communicate in English. In terms of grammar, I've used the present simple tense most of the time, with the present perfect and the present continuous in just one place. The simple present tense is by far the most common tense in English, so don't be afraid to use it. For my sentence structure points, I've got my subject, verb, and complement in the right order. Sentence variety can be a little tricky in speaking because you can't go back and check how many sentences start the same way. So probably the best way to avoid starting all your sentences with pronouns is to practice saying the same thing in several different ways. In terms of picking up points for sentence variety here, I've used a participle, a correlative conjunction, several interruptions, a gerund, a conjunctive adverb, a subjunctive, and then several subordinating conjunctions that show the examiner I'm very comfortable using complex sentences. And now in the last section, task fulfillment, my response is relevant because it answers the question and gives my friend the information he's looking for. It's complete because it has an introduction, two well-developed ideas, and a conclusion. The tone is appropriate because it's clear that I'm talking to someone I know quite well, especially here in the conclusion, where I suggest going to one of the restaurants together. And then the length is good because it fills the 90 seconds that's allowed for my response without leaving too much time when I'm not saying anything at the end. Okay, I hope that's given you some ideas about ways you can pick up points and get a good score, even if you don't have the world's best vocabulary.